What's up, y'all? This is Ty. I finally got to see it. I finally got to see the Suicide Squad. Yes, it's been a long time. I think I'm probably the last person to see this movie. Well, I caught a matinee. Yes, I said matinee because a brother was not trying to pay full price. And you know, movies these days are like 20 something dollars. After, come on. So I wasn't trying to pay full price for a film that I wasn't sure I was going to like. I ain't want to waste no money. I did that once before, and I hated that. I spent a lot of money. I saw this movie. Oh, you know what? Let's not even go into that because that's a whole nother thing. But I wasn't trying to spend no money because the critics had pounded it. But I still wanted to see for myself because the critics tore this thing up. That is because, as we all know, back in the spring, Batman vs. Superman was a letdown. Critics panned it. It didn't do what Warner Brothers and DC expected it to do because we're talking Batman and Superman, two of the biggest, most iconic characters ever. And the movie was like, eh. Well, so they panicked. They were like, okay, so we got to make Suicide Squad brighter. Make it brighter, lighter, 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 lighter. It has to be funny. It has to be because, Batman vs. Superman failed because it was just too dark. No, that wasn't the problem with Batman vs. Superman. The problem with Batman vs. Superman, in my opinion, was it was a terrible script. The first half was good. The second half was all over the damn place. That's the problem with Batman vs. Superman. But enough of Batman vs. Superman. Let's go on to Suicide Squad. So, they hired David Ayer, who is a director, great director and writer. He wrote Training Day and he directed End of Watch. Great film. And he has a string of other films that are pretty good. You can check that out. Check them out. Google him. You check it out. I like him as a director. The film stars Will Smith, Viola Davis, Jared Leto, and Margot Kidder. Wait, not Margot Kidder. I'm sorry. Margot Robbie. Margot Kidder is the actress who played Lois Lane, if you know, back in the 80s, the Supermans from the 80s. So I'm dating myself here, people. I'm showing my age here. But yes, Margot Robbie. Let's start with the cast. I thought the cast was great. I did not think that I was going to like Will Smith playing Deadshot because I love that character, and not that I don't like Will Smith. He's just, I never pictured him being in this role, but Will Smith shut me up. He carried this film. He was charismatic, which we know he is, but he was badass. He was funny. He was ruthless. I really enjoyed his character, and in the people in my audience, the people that were at the theater that I was in, they enjoyed him too because when every scene he did with his gun, the people applauded. When he got up and that scene where he's shooting all of those creatures in Midway City, and when he finished, got on top of that car and he finished, when he finished shooting and killing all of them, the crowd went crazy with applause. Oh, yeah, Deadshot. His scenes were great. I loved how they showed his love for his daughter and like she was his weakness. I loved how he wants to kill Batman. I loved his attitude and how he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And I just loved his attitude. Let's move on. Margot Robbie, excellent as Harley Quinn in my opinion. Sexy, crazy, funny, wild, just everything. I really enjoyed her. I loved her screen time. I loved her scenes. Every time she was on the screen, I was like, yes, yes, yes. I was here for it. I loved her personality. She nailed it. She even had the, hey, Puddin'. She nailed it. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. Viola Davis can do no wrong. That woman is just great in everything that she's in, and she brings that seriousness to everything. She was tough in this. She brought Amanda Waller to life really well. I also think that CCH Pounder from the cartoon version Assault on Arkham does a great voiceover Amanda Waller, and she's a great actress as well. But I guess they went with a bigger name here. I'm not mad. I'm just saying both great Amanda Wallers, but Viola did that. She was really good in that. Jared Leto as the Joker. I enjoyed his Joker, but I thought he was scary and creepy. But there was not enough of him to say how I really feel. I want to see some more. They really didn't put enough of him in here. So I want to see some more of that. All right, moving right along. Oh, there were other characters. Killer Croc was cool. They really didn't give you a lot of him. I liked El Diablo, Katana. Slipknot was just there so he'd get his head blown off, which was cool because we needed that. And Captain Boomerang, I loved Captain Boomerang, but still not enough of him either. And I wanted to see some banter because, you know, Captain Boomerang and Deadshot hate each other. I wanted to see some of that going on, but they didn't really do that. So now let's move on to pacing. One of the problems I had with this movie was its pacing. I understand that they did a lot of reshoots and cuts and edits, and they had groups, what you call those, the screening groups, I forgot what you call those groups, test screenings, and people were saying what they liked and didn't like. So they added a lot of things, they cut up and cut and spliced. So maybe that will explain why they kind of introduced some of the characters twice. In the beginning of the film, you see Will Smith's character, Deadshot, and you see Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn. They introduced them to him. Cool introductions. But when Amanda Waller comes on the scene and she's explaining to the government why she wants to form her team, we get a backstory and we get introduced to Deadshot again with his backstory, Harley Quinn again with her backstory. So that had to be an issue because of the, I guess, the reshooting or whatever they did. They didn't realize. Thought it was kind of strange because it kind of threw off the pacing because it's like you're reintroducing them twice. But I did like those scenes. I did like the backstories of the characters. But it felt like only some of the Dead Squad, only some of the Suicide Squad characters got full backstories, while others it was kind of rushed. It was like, okay, and this is him, and this is him, and this is him, and this is him. But let's focus on Margot, Harley, and Deadshot. I did like how they showed Harley Quinn's relationship with the Joker. A lot of flashback scenes. The funny scene was when Batman was chasing them in the car, and the car went into the water. Joker just straight up abandoned Harley Quinn, just left her for dead. Batman goes in to rescue her. She's so insane, she tries to fight Batman when she comes to in the water, and then there's a funny scene where Batman punches her in the face, and he takes her. So that's how we see her get caught and put into the prison. We see Deadshot get stopped by Batman, and he's with his daughter, and the only reason he didn't shoot at Batman because his daughter was there, so he got arrested. They showed Killer Croc in prison. They showed, I'm trying to think who else other backstory, but they did the backstories. But then another issue was the plot. I wasn't quite sure, and I don't think they were either, what the mission was, because in the beginning we see Viola Davis saying, well, you know, I want to form this team of the baddest people, and you know, because what if, you know, we get another type of Superman type person, but this time he doesn't have the compassion of a Superman. This time he comes down and he wants to destroy us. You know, we got to have a team in place for these type of people. And she's like, I need them for this mission. But then we have this issue with Enchantress and Incubus, and it's like, get the team and go. And so they're just in Midway City, and I guess the mission was to stop Enchantress and Incubus. But my issue was, what was the original mission prior to that? Because Viola Davis was saying, Amanda was saying that she needed them for a mission, but they didn't quite make it clear what that mission was. So they were kind of wandering around Midway City, and to me, the plot was just a little clunky, and it was like, there was no real payoff there was no real reveal. And this whole, let's get to the Enchantress and Incubus, and I didn't like them as villains. I thought they were corny, underdeveloped, and I'm so sick and tired. You hear me, people? I'm sick and tired of villains. I'm gonna build a machine and destroy all the humans. How many times are we gonna do that? That's your only reason? You just mad and you just gonna build? What are you building? Why? What are you building? You're just gonna build this thing, and there's always this thing that has lightning bolts and shit coming out of it. It's always pointing up to the sky and causing destruction. They're always building this thing because they're mad and they're gonna destroy all of humanity. Can we get a better plot? But I say all of that, and I still say I still enjoyed this film, even with its flaws. It wasn't perfect, but I still enjoyed it. I also enjoyed there was a lot of references and, as they say, Easter eggs and homage to the comics and the Batman the Animated Series. For instance, we see Harley Quinn's one-piece gesture outfit that she wears in the comics, and she's worn on Batman the Animated Series. In flashbacks, we see that, because I had a friend who criticized why they got Harley Quinn half naked. That ain't how she dressed. But I'm glad they put that outfit on her as opposed to the one-piece Jester outfit, because the one-piece Jester outfit, quite frankly, looks ridiculous live action. So it was a good thing that they changed that to the sexy. Wow, she was sexy. I really enjoyed her in that. She was sexy. I like that they put her in that outfit. I also noticed that, I don't know if you caught all of this, those of you who saw it, when Harley Quinn, how she became Harley Quinn, they kind of used elements from the animated series and from the comic book. In the animated series, she's in Arkham Asylum. She's trying to rehabilitate the Joker, and then she falls in love with him, and she goes cuckoo. They also show her mallet. That I thought that was cool. They also borrow from the comic books, where in one of the comic books, I forgot what issue it was, the Joker, I believe, pushes her into their acne chemicals plant, the chemical plant, and he pushes her into the chemicals. But in this film, he says to her, would you die for me, or will you live for me? Some weird old stuff like that. And she jumps into the chemicals, and he jumps in right after. So they're both batshit crazy. They're both out of their mind or whatever. And so I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Like I said, I thought the critics might have been a little too hard on the film. I will say there was not enough Joker, but hey, I would like to see him in a standalone Batman film. I want to see the Joker. I want to see Batman. I want to see Deadshot and Harley Quinn. I want them in one movie. But I would also like a sequel to the Suicide Squad, but with a better mission. One a little bit more, a better mission, a better written mission. The movie was good, but to me, it could have been better, but it wasn't as bad as everybody's saying it is. I didn't think it was awful. I had a good time, and it wasn't just because I paid $5 at a matinee. It was, I had a good time. I really had a good time with the film. Oh, Katana. I did like the Katana character, much like I like Captain Boomerang, but I felt like they weren't used enough. But I did like, they did include the fact that, her sword, when she kills people, their spirit is trapped in the sword, like her husband's spirit is trapped in the sword. I wanted more of her, a little bit more of her. I wanted more of Captain Boomerang. I wanted to see Boomerang and Deadshot go at it and hate each other like they did. And one of my favorites, Batman. Yes, you see it. Assault on Arkham. Yeah, one of my favorites. I wanted to see that, but hey, it wasn't a cartoon. It was cool to see someone's head get blown off. I'm glad they kept that in there. You know who got his head blown off? Slipknot. A character who you could tell was just put in there just to be killed off, which was fine by me. But like I said, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie. I enjoyed myself. Just a few things I would like to see. And I also heard that they're going to do a standalone Harley Quinn movie. That should be interesting. I would probably go see that. I really enjoyed her as Harley Quinn. Overall, I enjoyed the film. I really did. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. Yeah, the plot was a little silly. Yeah, some of the characters weren't that developed, but I still enjoyed the film, and I liked the squad. Am I the only one? And El Diablo, I thought he was cool. I wish I could do that. Just burn some stuff up, I'm so silly. He was a cool character. It was there was some cool scenes in here. The film looked great. I thought it was, I liked it. I want David Ayer back Ayer, however you say his name. I want him back as the director, and I would like a sequel to the Suicide Squad, and I would like a Batman standalone film with the Joker, because I want to see more of the Joker, and I want to see more of Harley Quinn. I want to see more of Deadshot, more. So let's hope. I know the film is doing pretty decent. Let's hope they do more. Like I said, I didn't think the film was as bad as one of my friends was like, oh, it's horrible. DC is just losing all the way around. I didn't think it was horrible. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was a fun ride. Tell me what you think. Check out my other videos. I sing, I act, I review television shows. I have a GoFundMe page. Just check it all out. Tell me what you think. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a blessed one. That's it.